Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children. We welcome to our online learning initiative Ekalaiva. Yesterday we started our new lesson in geography, Unit 3 Atmosphere. We discussed about the definition of the atmosphere and different layers of atmosphere. Today we are going to discuss about weather and climate. So weather and climate, these are the terms that are related to the atmospheric conditions. So weather denotes the way the atmosphere behaves every day, whereas the climate reveals the average of weather conditions over relatively long periods of time. We are going to discuss few points about the weather and climate, the differences. Weather is the study of atmospheric conditions for short duration over small areas, whereas climate is the study of the average weather condition observed over a long period of time for a larger area. The weather changes very often, that is hour to hour or day to day like that. But climate is more or less permanent and remains the same always. Now, then a place can experience different types of weather conditions in a day. Example, a day with hot morning can have a rainy noon like that. If you take climate, a place can experience almost the same type of climate for a long period. Weather data is collected every day in the observatories, whereas climate is average of the weather data collected. And the study of weather is called meteorology and study of climate is called climatology. So these are the differences between weather and climate. Now we are going to discuss about certain factors which influence the weather and climate. Distance from the equator, altitude, nearness to the sea, nature of the prevailing winds, mountain barrier, cloud cover, ocean currents, natural vegetation. So these are all the various factors which influence the weather and climate. Now first one, distance from the equator. So you all of you know that the shape of our earth is spherical in shape, isn't it? So the sun's rays fall directly on the places located near the equator, and the slanting rays of the sun reach the polar regions, that is North Pole and South Pole. So the rays are inclined on the regions which are away from the equator because the earth is spherical in shape. So the vertical rays heat up the earth more than the inclined rays. So the places near the equator are warmer as the sun rays falls directly on the places located near the equator, and than the places which are far away from the equator. So the temperature will be very cold near the polar regions and it will be very hot near the equator. So distance from the equator influences the weather and climate of a place. Next one, altitude. Altitude is nothing but height above the mean sea level. So the temperature decreases at the rate of 6.5 degrees Celsius per kilometer of height, and this rate is called as normal lapse rate. So the rate at which atmospheric temperature decreases with the increase in altitude. So that is called normal lapse rate. So places at a higher altitude have lower temperature. So that only, for example, if you go to hill stations, we can enjoy cold weather, isn't it? Because as the height increases, the temperature reduces. Altitude also plays an important role in weather and climate. Next one, nearness to the sea. The climate of a place varies according to its nearness to the sea. So places near the coast experience equable climate. Places located inland, that is far away from the sea, experience continental type of climate. So that only people wish to go to the beaches during the summer season to enjoy the cool breeze, isn't it? Okay, now nearness to the sea, we can there are two types of breezes, that is sea breeze and land breeze. During the day, the land gets heated more rapidly when we compare to the ocean. So what happens? Heated air ascends and this causes low pressure on the adjoining ocean. So the wind blows from ocean to land in the afternoon. So this is called sea breeze. In this picture also you can see cool air. It travels from ocean towards the land. So this is called sea breeze. Sea breeze helps in reducing the temperature of the coastal areas, especially during the summer season. During night time, the land cools more rapidly than the ocean. Cold air sinks and forms high pressure. The wind blows from land to sea during night time. This is called land breeze. So the sea breeze and land breeze also influence the climate and weather of a place. Next one, prevailing wind. The wind changes the climate of a place based on from where they blow. When wind blows from a warm region, it makes the place warm and cold. When blows from a cold region, it makes the place cold. The onshore winds cause rainfall, making the place cool, whereas the offshore winds bring dry weather. Next one, mountain barriers. The location of a mountain influences the climate of a place. So the mountain chains act as a natural barrier for the wind. Sometimes they prevent the entry of cold winds into the country or the escape of monsoon winds, thus having a great influence over the climate. So in this picture also you can see a mountain. The wind containing moisture hits the windward side. So the windward is the side of a mountain which faces the prevailing wind. So it receives heavy rainfall. Whereas the leeward side of the mountain is the side sheltered from the wind and it receives very less rainfall. So the just opposite side of the mountain, it is called windward side, but it gets less rainfall. Now cloud cover. Clouds reflect a large amount of radiation from the sun. This prevents the entry of heat to the earth's surface. So in areas generally of cloudless sky like the desert, the temperature is very high. So on the other hand, under cloudy sky, the temperature is very less. So cloud cover also plays a important role in influencing the weather and climate. Next one, ocean currents. So you can see warm currents and cool currents. This warm ocean currents, it raises the temperature of the nearby coastal areas, while the cool currents lower the temperature of a place. Next one, natural vegetation. The trees release water vapor into the air and makes it cool. So thus, if you take forest areas which have lower range of temperature throughout the year when compared to non-forested areas. So natural vegetation plays a very prominent role influencing weather and climate. Okay, children, we discussed about various factors which influence weather and climate. Tomorrow we will be discussing about winds, type of winds and all. Thank you, children.